Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've got this amazing set of sources today, all about getting into these really deep states of meditation. We're talking about going way past just basic calm, really charting a course for, well, for bliss and beyond.
That's right. And for this deep dive, we're really focusing in on the work of Ajahn Brahm. He's a master in the Thai forest tradition, and his guidance is just so incredibly systematic. It's not philosophy.
No, it's a handbook.
Exactly. It's a step-by-step manual for anyone who's serious about moving past, basic mindfulness. It really wants to attain what's called deep absorption, or jhana samadhi.
So our mission today is really to pull apart the mechanics of this path. We want to show you step by step how you can go from having a really restless mind to one that can find genuine, sustained happiness. And it all kicks off with this foundational idea, renunciation.
It's such a powerful metaphor right from the get-go. He says that when you sit down to meditate, you're carrying all this baggage with you.
All your burdens, right? Your job, your worries.
Your worries, your duties, even your successes. And he says you have to treat them like heavy suitcases.
And you have to consciously choose to put them down, not just set them aside, but really abandon them.
Precisamente. You make a decision that for this period of meditation, none of that matters. The Source describes a skillful meditator as being like a bird that just soars free, leaving all that baggage on the ground.
So if you're still clutching on to things, even good things like ambition, you just can't fly.
You can't. The whole principle is that only a mind that's willing to let go of absolutely everything can find this freedom. And it's not a vague idea. It's done in these very methodical stages.
The first 4 foundational stages.
Right. And the Source is really clear here. The fastest way to proceed is actually through careful patience. You have to build the foundation properly.
Okay, so let's get into it. Stage 1, present moment awareness. This sounds so simple, but I guess it's not.
It sounds simple, but it's asking you to give up the 2 biggest things your mind clings to: the past and the future.
Right. So, the past. How do you just let go of your entire history?
Well, the analogy is to cultivate a mind like a padded cell.
The padded cell.
Yeah. So when a memory or a bit of history comes up, good or bad, it hits the wall, but it doesn't echo. It doesn't bounce back and keep disturbing you. It just sinks into the padding and disappears.
So you're not fighting it, you're just not letting it reverberate.
Exactly. And then there's the future. Our whole lives are about planning and anticipating.
How do you abandon that?
You have to enter what the Source calls monastery time. You don't know what day it is. You don't know what time it is. You completely give up on wondering how much longer.
Because that's the future right there.
That is the future. And it's just a burden. You're here now. Nothing else.
Which sets us up for stage 2, silent present moment awareness. So now we're in the present, but we have to deal with our own thoughts about it.
And this is a huge one, especially for us. We put such a high value on our own internal commentary.
We think our thoughts are important.
We think they're reality. But really, a thought is usually just an opinion about something that just happened. A sound occurs, and the next thing is the thought, that was loud.
So we're always one step behind, just commenting on old news instead of experiencing what's actually here.
That's it perfectly. You're dealing with old visitors. The Source says true wisdom comes from silent awareness. You just stop indulging the commentary. And the mind, it actually wants to be quiet.
Okay, so once we've found that silence in the present, we move to stage 3, silent present moment awareness of the breath. We're narrowing our focus now.
We are. We're letting go of diversity, sounds, feelings, everything, and choosing just one thing: unity. It's like letting go of 6 ringing telephones to just listen to one.
But this is where people trip up, isn't it? The urge to control the breath.
Oh, absolutely. The moment you try to focus on it, you start trying to manage it, to slow it down or make it deeper.
So where's the line? How do you pay attention without taking over?
The analogy from the Source is just brilliant. You have to be a passenger in a car, looking at the breath through the window.
Not the driver.
Not the driver, and definitely not the backseat driver yelling instructions. You just watch it. The body knows how to breathe.
That brings us to what the Source calls the springboard, stage 4, full sustained attention on the breath.
Yes, and it's a deep stage. We're talking about continuous silent attention on every single moment of the breath. In, out, no gaps. Potentially for hundreds of breaths.
And this is where a real shift happens.
A huge psychological shift.
Yeah.
Because when the mind is that unified for that long, the doer,
The part of our ego that's always in charge.
right, the manager, the controller, it starts to disappear, it runs out of things to do. The mind finds it so peaceful that the doer just fades away.
But getting there is obviously not easy. The source includes a whole troubleshooting guide focusing on these 5 hindrances.
The Nivarana.
Mm-hmm.
And they're called public enemy number one. They block these deep states. They weaken wisdom. You have to deal with them.
So the first one is sensory desire, kamachanda.
And we tend to think of that as, really strong cravings.
But it's much more subtle in meditation, isn't it?
Oh, completely. It's any thought that's focused on the 5 senses. If you're paying attention to an itch or the traffic outside or even the feeling of your clothes, that's sensory desire in action.
You're still engaged with the outside world.
Exactly. And this is only truly overcome when all 5 of those senses just shut down and this pure mental object, the nimitta, appears.
Okay, hindrance number 2 is ill will. And the source makes a really interesting point here about self-ill will.
Yes, this is so common. It's that corrosive inner feeling that you just don't deserve to be happy or peaceful.
So the closer you get to bliss, the louder that inner critic gets.
Precisely. It comes from this deep-seated guilt that thinks it needs punishment, so happiness feels wrong.
What's the solution?
It has to be immediate and total loving kindness for yourself. Unconditional forgiveness. The source brings up the story of Angulimala, a serial killer who became enlightened. The point is, if he can be forgiven, so can you.
That's powerful. Okay, third hindrance, sloth and torpor. Dullness, sleepiness. My first instinct would be to fight it.
And that's exactly the wrong thing to do. Fighting it actually leads to the next hindrance, restlessness.
How does that work?
Think of the mind as having 2 parts. The passive knower, which is your awareness, and the active doer, which is the part that fights and controls. When you fight dullness, the doer uses up all the mental energy.
And starves the knower. So trying harder makes you less aware.
That's it. The solution is just to rest. Stop fighting, let the doer stand down, and that energy flows back to the knower, and your awareness naturally brightens up again.
Incredible. So the fourth hindrance is restlessness and remorse. Remorse we've kind of covered with letting go of the past, but restlessness.
Restlessness comes from what the source calls the fault-finding mind.
Ah, so it's the mind that's always judging the present moment.
Always. It's the thought, this meditation isn't deep enough, or why isn't anything happening? That desire for something different is the restlessness.
So the antidote must be
Contentment. Total contentment with whatever is happening right now, whether it feels good or bad. You just drop the critique. Paradoxically, that's what allows the mind to deepen.
And the last one, number 5, is doubt.
Right. Doubt about the path, the teacher, yourself. And there's a very sharp rule here. If you are in meditation and the thought, is this jhana, comes up,
It's definitely not jhana.
it can't be. Because that questioning analytical mind can't exist in those states of profound stillness. You save the analysis for later.
Okay, so once we've worked through the hindrances, the breath gets really beautiful, and then we hit stage 6, the nimitta.
The doorway to bliss, the breath itself disappears, and this pure mental object, usually a light, just appears in the mind.
This is the sign that you've let go of the 5 senses.
It's the definitive sign. The analogy is just wonderful. It's the Cheshire Cat's grin.
I love that.
The cat, your body, your breath, it all vanishes. And all that's left is this beautiful free-floating sign, the grin.
But sometimes that light, the nimitta, it can be unstable. What's going on there?
Well, if it's dull, it means your contentment isn't deep enough. You still want something. If it's flashing on and off, that's the doer again, trying to grab it or control it.
So what do?
You either deepen your contentment until it's unshakable, or you very gently place your attention right in the center of the light, letting its own brightness expand until it just takes over everything.
And when the mind merges with that light, that's jhana. States of profound stillness and ecstasy.
And pure otherworldliness. These states are beyond our normal human experience. The bliss in the first jhana is incredibly powerful, but there's still a tiny bit of mental movement, a subtle wobble.
The mind is still technically doing something?
A tiny bit, but as you deepen into the second jhana, that movement completely stops. And this is the moment the teaching points to.
This is where the doer has died.
The doer has died. And this isn't just a concept. It is the raw, undeniable data that the illusion of free will is gone.
What does that feel like?
It feels like you're on a driverless bus.
Yeah.
The journey of experience is continuing beautifully, but you see firsthand that you were never the one steering it. There's no controller.
And that profound stillness is the platform for deep insight, for vipassana.
Exactly. You can't do the insight work in the jhana. It's too still. You do it just after you emerge, when the mind is purified, bright and fearless.
And this is where you can see the true nature of things, like impermanence, Annika.
And it's a much deeper impermanence than we usually think. It's not just seeing the program on the TV change. It's seeing the whole television set vanish.
Wow.
You see that your very will, your ability to do anything, is subject to complete cessation. It arises and vanishes moment to moment. There's nothing solid there to be a self.
This sounds intense. It seems like you'd need a lot of emotional support, which brings us to loving kindness meditation, or metta.
Metta is absolutely essential. The Source uses another great analogy: lighting a campfire.
Okay.
You have to start with the easiest thing to light, the paper. An imaginary kitten or a baby, something that just effortlessly opens your heart.
You use that to get the flame of metta going.
Hmm.
Then you add kindling loved ones, and then
Okay.
logs, groups of people.
Yes. But often the hardest piece of wood to get burning, the last wet, sappy stick you have to throw in the fire, is yourself.
Forgiving yourself.
Giving yourself total, unreserved loving kindness. If you can't offer that to the person on the cushion, you won't have the fuel for the rest of the journey.
So this whole path, from letting go of suitcases to deep stillness, it really confirms that this is a path of increasing happiness.
Absolutely. The Noble Eightfold Path is a path of letting go of suffering. The more suffering you let go of, the happier you become. It all culminates in the highest happiness, which is nibbana.
So how should we really understand nibbana? It can be such a confusing term.
Ajahn Brahm is crystal clear on this. It is not a place. It's not some cosmic consciousness. It is the complete, final cessation of this process of body and mind. It's contentment at last. It's winning the wishing game by wishing you never have to make another wish again.
A liberation found not by gaining something, but by running out of things to want. It all comes back to letting go of control.
It does. And control is driven by measurement. The physicist Lord Kelvin famously said, if you cannot measure, you cannot control.
And so the flip side of that in meditation is, if you stop measuring, you have to let go of control.
You have to. We're always measuring our sits. That was a
Yeah.
good one. That was a bad one. And that measuring is just more doing, more striving.
So that brings us to our final thought for you to take away, and it comes directly from this methodology.
What would happen if you just consciously decided to stop measuring your spiritual progress? What if you deliberately abandon any assessment of your meditation as good or bad?
When you give up measuring, you give up control. You stop striving. And it's right there in that total absence of striving, that true stillness and the real fruits of this practice have the space to spontaneously appear.